I'll be back.
The same thing, the uniqueness that we have with this group, it just boggles my mind, some of the things that we were able to do. And the same thing, looking for a youth group, my kids never have had something like this. And it all came from lay people, basically.
Right.
You know, that sacrificed and gave. Now that I look back and been in the ministry, how much time and effort Bob and Lois had to put into this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Think about it now.
And how much guff they had to put up with.
I'm telling you, it was not work to Mom.
It's still the time, though. It's still the commitment and the investment of the time.
It was, but it,
I
I saw behind the scenes, those guys, they would get more excited about a DU. They get more excited about a function on Saturday than any of the kids would.
Really?
Yeah, that was their life. This was their life, the youth group.
And this is their legacy.
There you go.
When they get up to heaven, they're going to have a lot of crowns they're going to put at the feet of Jesus because of what they did.
He's right.
Well, I guess I'll kind of go next then. For me, you have to remember, my family actually came to Bethany because they were looking for a youth group for me. Because I was in a church that did not have a group, and they understood the importance of it. So they actually did the church shopping, and my dad knew Bob. And so
Through the gas station business?
because my dad did the auto body work, and so that was the connection. And I remember the first time my parents went, they said, okay, well this is okay, but we need for you to go check out the youth group first, see how you feel comfortable there. And that's really how it happened. So it wasn't just the church first; it really was the youth group first, which is a little bit different.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that's really been fun is because I have a church job. So Sundays are kind of busy, and when I was explaining to this new place where I'm working now that I needed this Sunday off because I was going to be going to a youth group reunion, they're going, what?
Who does that,
What's a
right?
youth group reunion? So okay, so get to back up and try to explain all this again, and
Nobody understands.
And I found how
Nobody can
hard.
relate.
I mean, and it's not because it's so integrated into who we are and what we do. It really can be difficult to find the words to try to explain it to the others. But yet, what a powerful witness that in and of itself is that we can use. So now we're talking about ways to grow a youth group and do some different things. And I know that when I have done work with a youth group, I find myself going into that same bag of tricks that I grew up with, everything from DUs to equipping youth to lead in worship and picking the songs and all those kinds of things that we just thought it was part of what we did, and I had no idea the amount of worship planning and worship training that was early on. I had no idea the things I took for granted, but I'm incredibly thankful for. And now it's just plow it back under and let's go again.
Yeah, that's cool.
And Tom was saying, everybody was saying that I feel like I'm way different, and one reason is I would have never even talked right now. If anybody remembers me, I was kind of quiet, invisible. When during prayer, it's like when it came to me, I was like bumping the next person, because that was part of the thing. If you didn't, because I was shy, I was quiet. So now I don't really have trouble talking in front of people.
That's true.
It's his husband, not his wife.
No, I know, yeah. But since Gail brought up why she started, we started because of actually Gail's family, because our father was having surgery in Iowa City, and he was gone for a long time, and there needed to be somewhere for all these kids, because we were the tribe. And so Dean and Jean went to stay with Gail's family, and they went to youth group at, I started to say Crossroads, wrong church, Bethany.
See, I didn't even know this.
Really?
Yeah, and so I didn't go at
Alzheimer's.
first.
That's her brother.
I didn't go at first.
He didn't know what his sister was doing.
But then, I think I got more involved when Alan started getting involved with the basketball and the guys and everything. And so, but anyway, that's how we got started in the youth group. But I don't know, I just want to say a few things about my own faith and how I feel it's grown and changed over the years. And I'm really grateful for having a teenage years that were, you were kind of safe because you weren't out there doing things. I mean, we had a reputation and we lived up to it, and everybody was a part of BBYG. And I think that helps. That helps because it kind of reins you in. Not that, who knows, we probably wouldn't have done anything much anyway, you know, but we were pretty good kids. But one thing that I think that changed for me is, and this is just maybe getting more into the Bible, which I can't really say how much I did back then. I might have, but I don't know if God spoke to me in the same way, but is the compassion and love, and when Jesus came to earth to serve others and how he did it, and his humility, and just everything about his life that I didn't realize back then. And now that I've found this out, it's just like, I love that part, that sacrifice of, but he did it just the way that he served people, you know, washing feet or whatever he did. It was just a truly giving of his life for others. And then, of course, dying on the cross. But before that, think about what he did. And so that's when God spoke to me about my life. And I was in church when our pastor just said, first of all, when I was going to church again, when we started going, I kind of wanted to hide back in a big church where I wouldn't have to serve. I didn't want to have to give a part of my life away and help again in a church. You know, there'd been hurts, there'd been just changes in me, and I'm not saying selfish so much, but maybe a little. I wanted my life. And when you totally give yourself to God, you are giving up a part of your life. So I wasn't sure I wanted to do that financially, anyway, anything. So I do remember kind of hiding and thinking, I hope Jim didn't hear that, you know, that kind of thing. I'm just being honest with you. But then as time went on and I started learning more about serving God, and that one day the pastor just said, just put your hands out and ask God to put in your hands what he has for you to do. And at that point I was like, I want to know my purpose. Why am I here on earth? What am I here to do other than to be married and be a mom and to do this and that? But I just felt like God had something big planned, and there were things that just happened all like that month that led to where I feel like I am today, and that's in God's will, and that's serving people that are the least of these. They are the ones that have nothing, no basics, and it just spoke to my heart so much when I found out about it and how people were dying, and it could be helped with $5, and children. I mean, I love kids so much. I've been serving in churches with little kids for years and years and years, and Jim, he loves kids so much too, but he loves it when those snotty-nosed kids come running up all dirty with their no shoes, nothing from the waist down, their holes, and he doesn't care. You know, he picks them up, he holds them. So anyway, I just get such a joy out of what God gave us to do, and it's ups, it's downs, it's a roller coaster. It's like someone dies that you love, and you know it could have been prevented, and it just motivates you to do more and more. And I just want to share that because I've really never been a part of the youth group in the way of speaking in front of anybody or talking about my faith or talking about purpose or anything. So I'm glad I walked in.
Is this my sister?
No. Yeah. So I just want to say that I am so grateful for what God has done in our lives, in spite of me, because I really don't feel like I'm anybody or anybody special, but I'm just grateful for the faith that I had, the background, and the something that gave me this love and wanting to give back as Christ gave to us. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, when I think about the feeling that I have being here, I think all of a sudden, you know, the thoughts that go in my mind, I think we're all sitting in the pine room, you know, sitting
And
around.
I'm
You know,
nudging for the next person.
then I remember those things. We were down there in the pine room with our instruments, Greg with his French horn, Swanee with his trombone, Jim with his baritone, I had my trumpet, and we're working on a quartet that we're going to play on the radio with Pastor Nolf. It's called Victory in Jesus. And you know, we sounded so good. We were
You guys
good.
inspired
We actually
me.
were.
You guys were good. I was the odd guy out.
And I tell you what, those things you never forget, you know?
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and, you know, of course, there were times we were cutting up and stuff, but I tell you, the Lord was there with us. And, all those things like Jim mentioned and so many people, you know, a lot of us got into church ministries in our local church, you know. I worked with kids ministries, children's church, bus ministry. I was telling Jim all about it.
Yeah.
And those things we learned from being in a youth group that Bob and Lois showed us by example.
Right.
We knew what to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Lord gave us that same vision, and it just was, the legacy continued.
Yeah.
You know? And then that's why we're here today.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk as long as you, but.
Yeah, but I had
make
like
up for lost
40
time,
years worth to make up.
You had a lot
for
inside you had to get out, right? But anyway, I just appreciate everybody being here. I love y'all so much. And this is just like Tom Pettigo, bless his heart, he wants to be here so bad. And Mike, and, you know, remember Mike's son-in-law in prayer, you know. And, I tell you what, this is, like Tom Pettigo said, it's like a piece of heaven, you know, to do this. And that nails it, you know.
Amen. Amen.
This is me, you know.
I
Well,
like
I
your shirt. Look at his shirt. Isn't that cool?
Base your life on Christ.
That is
Mark, what year were you going to youth group?
I ended in '79, graduated in '79. I was there at the toward the end of the Bob and Lois era, actually, and well, we actually benefited because Tim and Debbie took over, and there was a couple years of 2 or 3 years of a transition or overlap.
Exactly.
And so, of course, with that group, I think there's a lot of times we needed 2 sets of leaders. So it was me, and David Kraft, and Bob and Steve Taylor.
Can you name some of the people, your contemporaries? Because I'm not sure I know all the ones.
Davis girls.
The Davis twins, and James Davis, David Graff. Let's see, Jay Liston was a year younger than me. Jeff Liston was a year older.
Jennifer Liston.
Yeah.
My sister Diane would have been in that group.
Yeah.
Gail Bales.
She was
Was
Durban.
any Ralstons?
Bob and Scott Ralston,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
And that's really a cool thing, and I'm like, you know, just for us to be able to meet somebody like Mark, you know, that was in the youth group later on when we were
Second
gone.
generation?
Well, 10 years later.
We're getting to know you guys. It's a blessing that we would have missed out on if we hadn't had the reunion, so.
Absolutely.
And all the great articles about, you know, Vince and Lawrence.
But yeah, we still got to, I mean, it was good because we still benefited from the, just the wisdom and experience that Bob and Lois brought to it over the years. But by that time, we wouldn't have been nearly as active as they were in the previous years if Tim and Debbie hadn't stepped up and kept the baseball games and soccer games, basketball and everything going. So they just wouldn't, they needed someone like that to do that. And so, yeah, we were, because of that, we were just as active too. I think that's one of my memories, is all those sporting events, either at someone's house or at Bethany Park.
And that's when Bethany had a park out on, well, across the street
Next to
from me.
Jim's house.
Yeah, next to Jim's house, across the street from me.
That was a nice place.
Yeah.
Great place if you were a left-handed
Yeah.
batter.
That's true.
We lost a couple windows.
Handed, you could hit the roof of the shelter. And
Yeah.
even I could hit a home run once in a while. That wasn't very good.
I remember when that, never mind.
You wanted to pitch Mark outside, because if you pitched him inside, it's gone.
All right,
I'm
great.
just enjoying being here and
Dr.
hearing all the old stories again. It's like we never left. We just click. All these
It's
ornery
like we
guys
just took
here.
over right where we left off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not much to add.
He has
Glad to be here.
tons to add. He's just being Bethish.
We switched roles.
We put him on the spot.
Yeah.
What about, I mean, how's Gordy?
What, how's Gordy?
No, I mean, how's your family?
Everything's fine.
How far is your sister from here? I mean, where does she live?
Leslie's out in Rhode Island.
Really?
She was here for the first reunion.
Pastor's wife, you know, Dave Monroe, do you remember him down at Beaver?
I just, no, but I knew she married Dave Monroe. I never met him.
He was my APC.
She wrote a really good article in the Lamplighter about their ministry.
Yeah, yeah.
It was really a good one.
Yeah.
And I appreciate everybody here for all those great articles too, in the Lamplighter. They're right over there, by the way.
Well, Greg, go ahead.
She was here at the last reunion. She didn't make it, but it's just too far for her to get to.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell you one thing, Greg Weech's house was the second Bob Jones place. How much time did we spend?
Oh,
Weech's
out
house?
at the
At your
farm.
mom and dad's house.
Yeah,
Oh, my
they love
gosh.
to have you
Yeah.
guys
We-
out.
we
I think
had-
everybody.
Had, in fact, one time, Jim, I think you spoke when we went out to the Leeches for a DU or something.
Really?
Or we were cooking hot dogs. I don't know if anybody wants that. I always remember things that nobody.
We ate a lot of hot dogs.
I just remember they had snakes, so, you know.
That's why we're all gonna live to be 100, Greg. Right?
The,
Has a piece.
the hill out front, you know, that was famous for
Killing
breaking
people.
legs and
Bums.
Jumping my motorcycle.
standing up on the toboggan, you know.
Yes,
Oh, we did everything we could to kill ourselves.
It's a wonder we're here.
Well, Greg, I remember that your sister played the organ and my brother played the organ. I think it was same grade, same graduating year, I think 65. Did your sister graduate in 65? Yeah, so Leslie, and she sang,
Flute.
and she
Kid
played,
flute.
she did that. She,
Still plays the flute.
yeah, so Leslie and John, my brother, traded off at the organ on Sundays, and that would have been nice. For all of you watching this, that would have been 1965. That would have been 1965, and